Welcome into Outkick the Show. I'm your fearless leader, Clay Travis. I hope all of you are having fantastic Thursdays wherever you may be across this great land or this great world. This is Outkick the Show, and I got a lot of stuff to run into. We begin tonight with the final Thursday night football game of the year. Jets on the road against the Ravens. And I've got a really, I think, interesting perspective on this game. First of all, the line, I think, is too big. I'm going to take the Jets plus the 16.5, maybe buy it up to 17. I like the under. The Jets have got a decent defense. They have won 4 of their last 5. But, argument here. This game matters a lot more to Sam Darnold and his future than it does to Lamar Jackson and his future. Let me explain why. The last time we saw Sam Darnold coming out of mono was against the Patriots when he threw like 5 interceptions. And everything just fell apart with the way that he performed. And so this is Sam Darnold's last chance this season to erase the he sees ghosts storyline and actually prove that he's improved in year 2 and that you can look towards year 3 with a little bit of optimism about the way he is playing. Whereas for Lamar Jackson, so long as he stays healthy, final 2 games, Browns and the Steelers, win both of those AFC North contests, and no matter what happens against the Jets, even though the Ravens are likely to win, they still are going to be the number 1 overall seed. With a game and a half lead and 3 games to go, and the Patriots looking wobbly, I'm not at all nervous about the way that this is going to shake out. And so this is a bigger game for Sam Darnold than it is for Lamar Jackson, I think, beyond a shadow of a doubt. So that's tonight's game. I like, again, the Jets and plus the 17, and I like the under in this game. Final Thursday night football game of the year. I can't believe already that we are into Week 15 action in the NFL and that Thursday night football is officially over for another season. And again, this speaks to football and how quickly it ends compared to every other sport that never seems to end. Did you see that Sean Payton is in a feud, an argument with Whole Foods over a Whole Foods butcher who said that Sean Payton shouldn't have gone for 2 and came at him while he was walking around buying his meal in Whole Foods on Sunday? That in and of itself is a pretty awesome story. But I love that Sean Payton went back at the butcher, walked back to him, and told him that the meat in his display was looking like it was in rough shape. But I also love the idea of somebody in New Orleans being upset at the coach at Whole Foods and challenging his decision to go for 2. I said this, I think, on my radio show, but Sean Payton was down in Rosemary Beach over Thanksgiving weekend. I didn't see him, but several of my buddies down there did. After the Saints played on Thursday night against the Falcons, he got away for a couple of days to go to Rosemary Beach. I love the idea of the head coach getting challenged on his play calling by a butcher. I would watch that show if it's just Sean Payton walking around challenging people in different professions about whether or not they're doing a good enough job at their job to be questioning him. That's a pretty funny story from Sean Payton. Rumors continuing to grow, all right? Rumors continuing to grow about Urban Meyer to the Cowboys to take over for Jason Garrett when they fire him. I think it's an intriguing rumor. I don't know that I buy it because I think Urban Meyer would come in with too much clout for Jerry Jones. And I know everybody wants to focus on Jason Garrett and blame Jason Garrett for the trajectory of the Cowboys. But to me, the buck should stop with the owner. Jerry Jones is fabulously entertaining. He is really, really an enjoyable guy in general. And I find for him to be great for the NFL. But he also wants all the attention for himself. And as a result, the reports that are out there that Urban Meyer's concerned about how he's going to feel and be treated when he comes back into the NFL, potentially, but much more concerned about the treatment at the college level and that his particular track record may not be that welcome in college football right now. The question that I would have, first of all, I would love it. I love Lane Kiffin to Ole Miss because it's incredible entertainment. I love the idea of Urban Meyer taking over as the Dallas Cowboys coach. I absolutely love it. I would sign the paperwork to have it happen right now. I think it would be extraordinary to see going forward. Here's the biggest challenge that I see with Urban Meyer. He's a control freak, and Jerry Jones is a control freak. And ever since Jerry Jones ran off Jimmy Johnson, everybody that has followed has not been able to work alongside of Jerry Jones. I just don't buy into the idea that it would work well. But in terms of what I do, the most polarizing coach in America, probably in Urban Meyer, coaching the most polarizing franchise in all of America in the Dallas Cowboys, it's a content gold mine. I would be all over it. It would be phenomenal for everything that I would love about this in general. I'm hoping that it happens. I just don't buy that it's very likely to happen. Okay, did you guys see this story? I am big on trying to treat you guys honestly and treat every story the same. Most in the media don't do that. And this story happened, and I couldn't believe how quickly it disappeared and how little comparative attention it got. There was a shooting by two black supremacists in a Jewish deli in the last couple of days. Mass shooting, multiple victims, targeted based on their religion in just outside of New York City in Jersey City. And the story almost immediately disappeared. That's despite the fact that the shooters were black supremacists, fringe religious group, the Black Israelites, Hebrews, or something like that, with a manifesto in their car. And it vanished almost immediately because they were black supremacists committing a hate crime. Every time that a white person who has ever written anything remotely controversial shoots someone, it is a sign that gun control needs to happen now. It's a sign that white supremacism is taking over everywhere. And as a result, it is totally vanished. And it's crazy how biased the media is and also politicians are about this. My guy Dave Rubin, smart guy, I would encourage you guys to check him out, the Rubin Report, tweeted earlier today a retweet of this Rashida Tlaib character blaming white supremacists for the shooting as soon as it came out that it was black supremacists who were actually committing the shooting. She deleted her Twitter account and never said anything at all. It's crazy to me how this has shaken out and gone down. The media totally covers up for stories like these. Whenever a white man, usually, is the villain, it's a story for weeks at a time. Front page news, larger examination, hate in America, all these different things. And these crazy black supremacists who, remember, were the linchpin who started the story with the Covington High School students on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial last year, just completely escape all censure, all condemnation, all blame. And this is something that I've been on for a long time. You can't solve problems in America by blaming only one identity for the problem that exists. This is a big deal, and I would like to see actual political figures speak out about this in general. The idea that any one identity is the root cause of any one problem that we have in America is a fundamental flaw, and it's fundamentally dishonest, okay? And what I have said for a long time, and very few people will speak up publicly and say the same thing, is we treat racism in America like it's still 1963, like it's still 1958, like it's still 1964, okay? And the only way it ever gets covered is now if a white man does something racist and a black person is the victim. Otherwise, the media doesn't care, okay? My position, which is pretty straightforward, is race in America is much more complicated today than it was in the 1960s, being viewed through the prism and lens of the present day. First of all, Hispanics are our largest minority group. Asians have a huge part of the population here. White and black are a big part of the population, and this is important, all races have racists, okay? And so this idea that racism only exists as white to black is crazy, and the way that the media propagates it is utterly insane. And you can see it in the way this story appears. It's a massive story, all right? You got two black supremacists on a mass shooting inside of a Jewish deli. All of the talk about anti-Semitism, all of the talk of late about the treatment of different minority groups. And when this happens in the country, the story basically disappears. There's no headline, black supremacists commit mass shooting. There's no question of whether we need tougher gun laws when black supremacists have access to weapons. There's no discussion about Jewish people being targeted by black supremacists. All of it disappears. And I don't understand why the media can't cover stories honestly in this country. I just don't understand it. I don't understand why everything is so agenda driven that if it doesn't fit the prevailing narrative, it gets totally and completely ignored by almost anyone with an audience. And that is totally broken about the way our culture exists today. I got to tell you, it makes no sense, and it's problematic all around. If it doesn't fit your narrative, then it doesn't get any attention at all. The media wants to sow division. They want to create conflict. They want to pit identities against each other, and they want to tear apart our common humanity. And it's frankly altogether troubling on the highest level. And social media makes it worse because so much of social media is a funhouse mirror that it distorts inaccurately what America actually cares about. So that's me on the soapbox talking about complete hypocrisy in the way stories are covered. All right, let's finish on a happy note. No controversy here. My 5 favorite Christmas movies, all right? We are like 13 days away from Christmas. All of these movies are going to be airing quite a bit on television of late. I told you that earlier this week on Monday, I took my kids to go see Christmas Vacation, and I am telling you right now, my top 5 Christmas movies, all right, in order. This is the greatest, most reliable list of the best movies in Christmas history right now, according to Clay Travis from Outkick the Coverage, the definitive list. Number one on the list, A Christmas Story. Ralphie and His Family is the best Christmas movie that has ever been made. The Red Ryder BB gun, the Ovaltine, the soap in the mouth. There has never been a better Christmas movie ever made than A Christmas Story. I could watch it all the time, all the days around Christmas. It doesn't get old. If you don't like A Christmas Story, you have awful taste, all right? Number 1. Number 2, Christmas Vacation. It's a classic. It's now been out for 30 years. I took my 11, my 9, and my 5-year-old to this movie, and they laughed uproariously, and they loved every single minute of it. It's just as good 30 years later as today. It is absolutely fantastic. Number 1, Ralphie and A Christmas Story. Number 2, Clark W. Griswold and A Christmas Vacation. Number 3, Elf. Will Ferrell is flat out incredible. It's an early one, but it is already becoming a Christmas classic. Elf is absolutely fantastic, all right? Elf is number 3 on the list, all right? 1, Christmas Story. 2, Christmas Vacation. 3, Elf. 4 is going to be controversial, but if you're around my age and you grew up in the South, you're going to be like, damn, I can't believe how good this guy's list is. All right, are you ready? Ernest Saves Christmas. Impossible not to like Ernest Saves Christmas. Ernest Worrell, the hero of Christmas. It is a fabulous movie. If you haven't seen Ernest Saves Christmas, get it for your kids. Go watch it. Make sure you don't miss it. It is an icon. It is a classic of Yuletide cinema. If you haven't seen it, Ernest Saves Christmas, top 5 movie beyond a shadow of doubt when it comes to Christmas movies. And number five, and I've got an honorable mention. Number 5, Hey Vern indeed. Number 4, Hey Vern. Number 5, all right? Number 5 on the best Christmas movies, Home Alone. The original Home Alone, not Home Alone 2. The original Home Alone with the Wet Bandits, with our good friend Kevin McAllister stuck at home in Chicago while his family travels to Europe. That is the top 5 movies. And my bonus movie for everybody out there, Polar Express. If you have kids, they love Polar Express. It's become a classic for young kids. So my top 5 in order, don't want to mess this up, the greatest Christmas movie list you will ever see. Number 1, A Christmas Story. Number 2, Christmas Vacation. Number 3, Elf. Number 4, Ernest Saves Christmas. Number 5, Home Alone. And honorable mention, Polar Express. All right. Early Merry Christmas to all of you. Go do your homework if you haven't watched all 6 of those movies. I got to go do Lock It In now. Make everybody some money on Jets Ravens tonight. My name is Clay Travis. This has been Outkick the Show. Kisses, boys and girls. DBAP, unless you need to SBAP. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Love you. Thank you, Facebook. See y'all.